This summer, there is an opportunity for the community to learn how to identify, harvest, and eat the desert's unique bounty.
And Alexander Rosenberg and Nicholas Garber are here to tell us why the desert harvesters are offering this. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Nicholas, let's start with you, because a lot of people haven't heard of desert harvesters before. So tell us about your organization.
Well, we are a group of Tucsonans largely, and people who live in other parts of the desert Southwest, and we love this place that we live. And we find a really great way of engaging with this environment is knowing about the plants and actually eating some of these plants. And so we like to share this knowledge with other people, and this is knowledge that we haven't developed, but that we are kind of uncovering from all of the cultures that have moved through this area and have left their imprint here. And so we like to share this knowledge with people, get people educated about the plants in their own neighborhoods and ways of raising these plants in their own landscapes and in their neighborhoods, and just to experience these tastes as a way of really grounding ourselves and knowing what's so special about the Sonoran Desert and Tucson in particular.
And this is what a wonderful way to learn a lot of stuff, to open up your palate. There's, so much that you can kind of take away from this. So where is it that we're going to be able to sample some of this great food?
Well, it's a really good point, because we were named a UNESCO World Food Heritage Site. And so we have a special culinary tradition here. And we love sharing this. And one of the best places is going to be at La Cocina on next Tuesday night. That's the 31st, I think.
Yep, 31st of May. We'll be able to have a sample platter of some desert foods, hear a lot of stories about how these foods were traditionally gathered and how we're gathering them now, and just kind of enjoy the company of all the people who really love the place that we live.
I love that. So once we've sampled and we realize we can't live without this any longer, where can we get this native desert food, maybe even to take home and prepare ourselves?
Well, the fun thing about that is that these foods are already at home for a lot of people here in Tucson. Our neighborhoods, we have all of these great drought-tolerant food-bearing trees that are getting additional irrigation, that are getting additional nutrients maybe from your home garden. So why not take advantage of that? Right now in season, we have Palo Verde trees, which is this guy right here. Okay. Those taste a lot like a sweet edamame. Once they're shelled, just like in this picture, they even look like edamame. So you don't need to go out into the desert to find these things, because this is where we live, in these urban environments that have these landscape plants that are edible. So we'll leave the wild foods for the birds and for the habitat out in the desert and harvest what's at home.
I bet probably a lot of people say, once I recognize what I can eat, what's edible, what tastes really great, I don't really know what to do with it. How do I cook it? What do I do with it once I have it? So do you guys help also with that?
Yeah, we have a great wealth of knowledge with recipes. We're working on a second cookbook. Right now we have out on the table an Eat Mesquite cookbook, which is available on the website, with all sorts of recipes with mesquite beans, which is another harvest that's coming up very soon. You can probably see all of the mesquite blooms and pods already on the trees. And then Desert Harvesters events always have a lot of local desert foods that are available for tasting, salsas, crackers. And our website, desertharvesters.org, has a lot of recipes on it as well.
Well, as you're explaining all this, I'm trying to go through my front yard and think, okay, what do I have there that I could maybe harvest? So I see you brought some other things here. Will you tell us what else you brought, and maybe we might be surprised at what that we can eat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So out on the table here, we have the brown beans that you see there are ironwood seeds, which can be used for sprouting. Just like you would maybe sprout mung bean sprouts or alfalfa sprouts. During the summertime, it's kind of a hard area to get greens at the local farmers market because it's just so hot. So what a great way to get that fresh, lively punch of flavor into your diet with, something that's there in the driest time. It's waiting for the rain. That's when they put their seeds out so that they can take advantage of the rain. So you could sprout those on your kitchen counter. Here we also have some mesquite pods that will be milled into flour, both screw bean mesquite and the other sweet, flowery mesquite pod. We have some chaparral, which can be used to make all kinds of external salves and balms that are really healing for your skin.
Wow.
See, I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
This is so surprising. We both grew up in Arizona, and we're learning.
Well, so come to our events every Thursday afternoon, 4 o'clock at the Santa Cruz Farmers Market at the Mercado San Agustin. What is that? That's 100 West Alameda Street. Every Thursday we'll be addressing different fun plants and really training you how to make the most of these plants that are growing in your yard, in your neighborhood, in your friend's yard. And there are important things, you know, being introduced to these new foods, these new plants. There's always ways that we've developed to keep you safer and to make your harvest more efficient. And you know, we are among like the few Tucsonans who are extremely happy that the summer has arrived because this is harvest season.
Exactly. And I know you did mention La Cocina a little bit earlier. I'm actually going to give the details of that right now. But thank you both so much for coming and for bringing these great items. So as we were saying before, the Desert Harvesters Evening of Story, Food, Drink, and Music will take place May 31st from 5 to 10 p.m. at La Cocina. For details about their other summer events, make sure to visit desertharvesters.org/calendar.